Hello everybody, and welcome to the School of Life with Sonny, where we talk about all things, everything. Yeah. As always, why go through your own experience if you can learn from other people's experiences? So today, I'm in part 3 of my coming to America journey. So, I think the last time I mentioned that I came here in 2018, the first time for an orphans conference, a Christian orphans conference, and the following year was my most conflicting year, 2019. So I have my 5-year visa, and I could come for the conference yearly. I had an invitation again, and this time I was not sure I wanted to come because I had started a program called Inner Healing. I just written a book called Close That Door. So I said 2018 was my toughest. What? 2018, 17, 18, 19. My life changed in 2017. Like my life changed completely. And so 2018 was my very, very, very hard year. And it crossed over to 2019, and of course to the end. To the end of my marriage is what I mean. So this time, I had started a program called Inner Healing. It was honestly, it was more on my healing, and I've always said that God had taken me through, or God was taking me through a very rigorous process, or a very rigorous program. I actually call it my crash program with God, because God knew, you girl, you need to deal with this thing because it's gonna kill you, because it was killing me. I mean, it was killing me. So I wrote a book called Close That Door, and I started a program called Inner Healing, and wow, it was doing so well. It picked up very, very, very fast, and I was feeling so fulfilled. For me, fulfillment is everything. Like money comes later, but fulfillment is everything, and this was fulfilling me. So in 2019, I think I was in my fourth cohort of the program, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to let this thing go. I'm not going to stop this thing. I'm not going to interfere with this program. So I had a class that was was starting about the same time that the conference was starting. But the long and short of it is, I had a class of 7. One person said, I'm gonna do online. The other group of people was just like, it was one group. So there was a wife of a prominent person who had come with her group, and I was like, okay, fine, this is what I'm gonna do, and of course this other person. So this lady came the first day we had the second day of class, and she said, so the first day is introduction, then the second day she came and said, you know what, I'm flying out on the 9th. I can pay. We can all pay, but then we come and do the class in 4 weeks, and I want to do we want to do it as a group. And that is how, that is how the class like ended. That is how the class came to an end. I didn't end it. So I feel like this was how God interjected or interfered or interrupted. So I'm like, oh, so this lady tells me the other coincidence. She tells me I'm actually going to the US on the 9th of May. So we'll all pay, and then we come and continue with the class after 4 weeks. And I'm like, wow, I'm supposed to be going the same day, like 9th May. I was like, what a coincidence. Honestly, I really wrestled with this idea. I almost said I wrestled with God. I really wrestled with, do I go or do I not go? So so many other confirmations, and eventually, like 2 weeks to the conference starting, I decide, okay, I've made up my mind. Enough push, enough confirmations, and I now feel at peace. Like, I think I'm going to go. And this time I was going with my sister for the same conference. So first, let me just say what I learned. I learned that like you can have a God idea and you can have a good idea, and most of the times our God ideas are our good ideas rob us of our God idea. Is that complicated? So I'm saying, like, what robs you of what God wants you to do sometimes is something good, and sometimes it's something that He has actually like led you to. But I feel like when you're dealing with God, you have to be very, very sensitive. You have to know, like we say that when you're dealing with God, you don't make permanent structures. It's tense. You can move anytime. You can be told move anytime. You can have that conviction of moving anytime. But when you say, "Oh, I started this and this is what is happening," look at how things are happening. Are happening. You've got to be very, very sensitive. And you also say that the enemy of best is good, because if it's bad, it's obvious. Like, a bad thing won't rob me of a good thing, but a good thing can rob you of the best, because you can settle, you can become comfortable, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna be mediocre because So anyway, so I really wrestle, and eventually I go to the States. So here is when now I understand what was happening, because we land in Louisville, Kentucky. So the first night we were going to do a boat ride, a cruise as they call it, and there's a boat called the Belle of Louisville, and so we were cruising with that, and we were networking in there. We had a cocktail, and I remember the leader the leader of the organization was telling me, "You know what, Sonny, I want you to network. I want you to network." And so I was like, "Oh my God, I don't want him to find me not networking." So when you got in, and I know when you look at me, you think, "Oh, she's very extroverted. It's very easy." It's not very easy for me to network. Like, I'm very good at talking. Like on camera, I can speak when I'm needed. I can talk in front of people. I can talk when no one else is talking, and I don't know what I'm saying, but I mean, I'm not as extroverted as people think. I am actually more introverted than extroverted. I know it's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe, but Oprah is introverted as well. She encouraged me to believe in whom I am, because I kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm so introverted." I gain my energy when I'm alone. I love being alone, and that is why I feel like America suits me so much, because I don't have to be in so many places doing so many things. I just feel like, wow, I keep re-energizing. Anyhow, so we are in the Belle of Louisville, and we're supposed to be networking, and like, oh my God, lead me to the person that I'm supposed to network with, because I'm not good at going from one person to another. I'm like, oh my God, this is a task for me. So I look around and I see a guy seated alone, and I'm like, oh days, this is good. I'm gonna go and talk to this person. So and he was African, so it was even easier. So it's easy. It was easier for me. So I go find this guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling so well. I don't want to go. I'm just seated here." And I'm like, "Wow, good for me. So we can network." So we get talking, and this is what I do. This organization, I deal with orphans. This is what I do, and he tells me this is what I do, and we we are networking. Then I say, of course, I mentioned my book. I've written a book called "Can Scars Become Stars?" And he's like, "Wow, you are an author." Okay, I don't call myself an author. I say I've written. And he's like, "You know what? Yesterday I had devotion at this publishing house, and they're very interested in publishing books." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is gold." Because he says, "I'm very, very ready to introduce you to this publishing house." And I said, "Wow, yeah, I'd love that." So we're done, and he tells me, "Oh, this publishing house is in Illinois, and we are gonna be going back to Illinois on the conference was ending on Saturday. And so he says on Saturday we will head back to Illinois. So there was there was another couple, pastor, and they were driving. And there was someone else. So they were all driving down to Louisville. And he says, if you want to meet them, you can actually drive down with us. And I'm like, whoa. Then he makes the offer, and I'm like, wow. Of course, this is not something that I'm gonna take like that. So we finished the conversation, and I'm like, and he also says, and if you want me to introduce you like on email, I can. But after we depart, I'm thinking, I'm in America. I've come all this way. I think 4 hours away from Louisville to Illinois. I think I'm 4 hours away. Why wouldn't I go in person, and I have someone who is going to like hold my hand and take me where I want to go? Then I remembered one time I was listening to this channel, and this lady was saying that she came to America not knowing anybody. She traveled from Kenya to America because she had a dream, and she walked around Hollywood hoping to meet someone. Like she just like came from Kenya and dropped in Hollywood, and she did not know anybody. And I just remembered that, and I was like, I'm not even coming from Kenya. I'm in Atlanta. No, I'm in Louisville. I'm supposed to go to Atlanta. I'm supposed to go to Atlanta, but I can detour. I can tell my host in Atlanta, you know what? I'm gonna come 2 days late. Anyway, I call my husband. Then I'm like, this is what has happened, and he says, okay, what do you feel? I say, this is what I feel, and I wanna go for it, and I have his go ahead. Then I go and talk to my sister, and I talk to the leader, and I talk to another leader, and I tell them, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go with this person, and and I have a place to sleep. Okay, so like later we organize, and he says, okay, there's this lady who's going to host you, and this the leaders of the organization know the lady, and so one person calls the lady, and she's like, oh, okay, oh, you're hosting, oh yeah, that's fine, oh, you go, Anita, go to this was Anita. So we agree. I'm feeling confident. I was very, very confident, you guys, because when it comes to faith is synonymous to risk. Yeah, faith and risk are synonymous, you guys. Like I think like the other name for faith is risk. Everything you do, you get up in the morning, you take a bus, you don't know the driver, you haven't seen their license, you won't ask them for their license. You just have faith that they're gonna take you where you're going. You stand up, you're risking falling. Everything we do is a risk. Like everything you do, you go to a restaurant, you're eating, and you're hoping that food doesn't have poison. It's a risk. Like I feel like everything we do is a risk. So I take this risk, and I travel with this with these people to Illinois. So Saturday I get to this lady's house. It's late, so I spend the night there. On Sunday, this person, he's now my friend. I'm calling him this person. So my friend calls me and says, okay, and asks me, do you want to go to our church today? And I said, okay, fine, we can go to church. And he said, there's somewhere else I would want you to go to. And I'm like, he says, you know what? I would want you to go to attend a graduation that I think the school could interest you, because I've been thinking like the things that you're doing and where you are at in life. I think it would be important if you can get an MA. And he had actually like mentioned that when we talked, and he was like, what level of education? I said, I have a BA. And he said, why? Have you ever considered doing an MA? And I'm like, I'm not thinking of an MA. And so he said, there's a graduation today, and I think it would be nice to attend since you're home and there's nothing you're doing. And I said, okay, fine. So we went to church, and then after church we came to the graduation. So now we come to the graduation at Wheaton College, my college. So we sit there. I'm not thinking of MA. I'm not thinking of studies. I'm just like seeing what is happening. How are graduations done in America? But when I'm seated there, wow. Whew. Oh my God. So I sit, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I look at the people at the front, the people who are graduating, and I'm like, what don't I have to be there? That is the first thing that I feel like, what don't you have to get to be there? But then someone makes it worse. So this girl gives a speech. So like it was so white. I could count the Africans that were there, whether they were African Americans or Africans, whatever. I could count them, like very, very few. But now the person who was giving the speech was this young African girl. And she started her speech by saying, I'm the first person in my family to get to this level. I'm the first person to wear this hat. I'm the first person to wear this gown. And I start tearing. And I'm like, wow. This can happen to someone who doesn't have it from, I don't know, their forefathers. This can happen to a first generation. And I just turned to my friend and I said, I want it. And she said, I want it. And I just had tears and I said, I want it. I want it. And in my heart, I just said, I want it. And I said, and that's why I'm getting emotional, because that day I said, one day I'm going to stand right there. I said one day, as I sat there, I think it's a place I've sat many, many times. After that, so I say, one day I am going to stand there. You guys, that's a far-fetched dream. That's a far-fetched confession. But I say, I will stand there one day. And I get out and I take a picture. This picture I've taken every year, the same picture I'm going to show you. So I took a picture. I sat at a particular place. I took a picture and we said, you know what? One day I'll take a picture here as a student. I'm going to take a picture here as a graduate. One day I will also be here. And I go home. I go back to, so come Monday. So I go back home now to my host. Then Monday is the day I'm going to the publishing house. So my friend says, let's go to the publishing house, and then now, because you're interested in the school, I'm gonna give you a tour at the school. I'm going to go introduce you to different people. So he gets me again. We go to the publishing house. We have a conversation with them, and then he takes me to school and takes me around, and I meet a lot of people. Then I go back to Atlanta. So when I go back to Atlanta, I do my application for to the publishing house, and you know what? That doesn't go through. But I'm now thinking of school. By the time I go back to Kenya, which is now around June, by the time I go back to Kenya, I had even forgotten about school, and I was like, the process was tedious. The school process was so tedious. When I tell you there's no microwave stuff, you need to want it. You've got to want it to go for it. So I don't even start the application. Then again, pain pushes me. But then I'm going through so much pain, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get out of this place. That was my drive. So I stopped the drive for like getting an MA was not there. But now the drive that I had was, I just want to get out of this pain. And I wanted a way of escape. I was like, you know what? I'm going to now go for this, because I just want a way of escape. I want to be somewhere for a month, for 2 months, and get rid of this of the stress that I was going through, So I was like, I just want a way of escape. I won't lie to you. And I started doing my application. I did my application, and my application for to the college went through. So I got admission to the college. But it is a process. It is a process. Of course, I had to do TOEFL. Let me tell you, I had to do TOEFL, and when I did TOEFL, they needed 80 marks. I got 78. You're joking with me. I wrote to the school. I wrote to the school and I said, I got 78. But I explained myself. I said, this is what, I don't want to go, I don't want to redo this exam. And I didn't even have time, because for TOEFL, you have to book. You can book for TOEFL in May, and you get an opening for July. So I didn't have time. So I wrote the school, and I explained myself, and I said, I got this, but I wrote I wrote enough for them to know that I actually know English, and I understand English, and I can write and I can read, because I think I missed a mark in, I don't know whether it was writing, it was something. And I was like, this was just a mark that I missed. I explained myself. Go for it, you go for it. Don't give up. And they wrote me and they said, it's okay. It's okay. We are gonna work with the 78. So that was it. Then the next step was to take my papers for evaluation. So my degree was from the University of Manchester, but I went to Manchester for graduation. But I had done my my classes locally, and there was a lot of, it was very difficult. I'll tell you, it was very, very difficult. So I had to coordinate with Manchester, make calls. I started with emails. I need them to send WES, World Evaluation Service. I need them to send WES my transcript for evaluation. Let me tell you, it was such a process. Then one time, I had all my documents, everything checked. The only thing that I didn't have was WES. So I'm here, I'm writing the school, I'm trying to work this thing out, but I only have this one document pending, and it's not up to me, it's up to the school and up to WES. And the school gave me an extension. It was, I was kind of past the deadline, and they told me, we're gonna give you till this time. It was not a long extension. Then one day I woke up and I said, God, you know what? I just need an answer. I just need an answer from Manchester. And I made this call. When I made this call, a lady picked up, and I spoke to her. And you know what she told me? You must be loved by God. God loves you. She said, I'm going on leave. She's the only one who could do that, whatever I wanted her to do for me. She understood it. And she said, I was going on leave. I'm actually on leave, and we are traveling tomorrow. We're going on vacation tomorrow with my family. I just came in to pick something, and it was something that was on my desk. So I just picked it, and on my way out, your phone rang. And I was like, do I pick it up or not? And I just felt to pick it up. And she said, she confessed to me. She gave me my testimony, you are loved by God. And I said, wow. And this lady now took my case at heart. And she told me, you know what? I'm going to follow up. I said, I've been sending you emails. And when she checked, she said, oh my God, because I called her office. I knew the office to call. And she said, all your emails go to spam. I've never received any email. And from there, she took it up, and oh my God, the things that lady did for me. Oh my God, it can only be God. So I'm done with WES. I have my application. I get my admission for school. Big deal. Admission tick. But now, how do I raise money? I needed a scholarship. So I now again start the process for scholarship. So now I'm done with the application. I get my admission, but that's not enough. I need scholarship. I need money. I can't afford. So I now start applying for my scholarship. I was actually doing it simultaneously because there's a lot of write-up you have to do. But you can't get a scholarship until you have admission. So after the admission, then I apply for my scholarship and I wait. So the results were coming, were being sent the following year. So I started my application towards the end of 2019, 2020. So the results came in March. And I got a regret. I got a regret. I know you're waiting for yes, and I got it because you're thinking, and how are you there? So I got a regret. When I opened my laptop, I saw, unfortunately, or we are sorry. Yeah, it was, we are sorry. And I was like, days, I don't want to know sorry. I do not want a sorry. So I did not get my scholarship that year. That was I was supposed to be in the class. According to my application, I was to be in the class, in the 2020 class, and the class starts in August. But you know what? God didn't want me to be in the 2020 class because that year COVID was starting, and the people that were here had a very, very rough time. It was lonely. It was so many things. And later I came to understand why I did not get it in 2020, but I got it in 2021. I'm going to tell you how it happened. Oh my God, that's another story. How it happened in 2021 is another story that I'm going to be telling you in part 4. But what I learned from this experience, number one, is that you only need one man to change your destiny. You only need one person to change your destiny. And sometimes, or most of the times, we go looking at outward appearance. We go looking. I mentioned in my first video, Esther helped me. The other person that helped me was my brother, my brother George. People that I would not think of. The other person that helped me was my brother, who is African. From Africa, I come to America, but the person who is holding my hand to my destiny is actually an African. I would expect, I'm in America. I'm here. How is it that someone from Africa is the one opening some doors for me? So I'd say, when you go for these networking things, when you go for cocktails, when you go for, when you never ever despise anybody, and always ask God, just show me who has that thing that you have for me. It could be the person seated next to you, but you're looking at outward appearances. You're looking at, okay, who is, you guys, when you are in a Mzungu environment, it's so many people would not even talk to an African. So you need God to lead you. Just remember all these people in the Bible. Remember who helped Naaman? It was the servant. Who saved who saved Egypt from drought, from famine, not drought, from famine? It's Joseph, a worker in the house. So and who saved who was used to save the Jews? It was Esther, an orphan. Never ever underestimate anybody. So in part 4, I'm going to be telling you how I got in. Well, I missed my 2020 application. I missed my scholarship in 2020. But what happened? How did I get my scholarship in 2021? Please keep it locked. I'm going to tell you more in part 4. Yes, part 4. God bless you. God bless you. I'm so tired today, yo. I'm so tired. Sometimes you do these videos and you're doing them because you have to do them, because it fulfills you, because you know what you want, you know the result you want at the end of the day. That's why you should subscribe. Today I'm tired, but I've got to do it because I want a sister and a brother to get something from this. God bless you. Check out.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just